Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today I want to talk about a really interesting subject I like to call Creature X. This Creature X has been hinted several times by a gentleman named David Pilates of 411 fame. I really respect David's research abilities and shedding light into high strangeness that happens in our national forests and in other places around the United States and Canada. So anyways, in a weird way, I want to sort of dedicate this to him. I'm sure he won't agree to everything I have to say, but that's all right. That's what it's all about, is a little debate and disagreement. Anyways, I'm going to tell you a story about that came from a gentleman that I had to my meetings, two of my meetings in New Mexico in Albuquerque when I ran the New Mexico UFO Paranormal Forum. This gentleman was from New Mexico, actually. He lived up in the northwest corner in the Farmington area, I believe. And anyways, so I had him, like I said, I had him to my a meeting. And I think it was the second meeting. We usually take our guest speakers to a restaurant, a local restaurant. And what we do there basically is just, everybody gets around a large table. Typically it was 20, 25 people. And with the guest, and the guest would, talk to the people, chat, etc. And anyways, at this second after the second meeting and the restaurant meeting, I guess we'll call it, he took me aside. I'm going to call him John for right now. John took me aside and said, listen, I want to tell you a story. I didn't want to tell it in front of the group because it is so gruesome and so horrific, but I thought maybe you'd be interested, and he thought I could handle it, which I obviously could. You'll see maybe I wouldn't have been able to handle it if I actually saw it in person. So anyways, the way the story goes is John got a call from a sheriff in northeastern Alabama. And the sheriff told him he really wanted him to come out there and see something. He mentioned to him at the time that it was very gruesome, and he had to be mentally prepared to see what he was going to see. And that's all he wanted to tell him at this point. And he told him, please get out here ASAP, because he couldn't hold the crime scene for more than a couple of days. So John, by the way, I was going to tell you, John worked in all types of cryptid type incidents around the country. And he worked very close with the Navajo tribe where he lived up in northwestern New Mexico. So anyways, he took one of the Navajo people that he had worked with that was in his group, and they drove from Farmington area to Albuquerque and flew out to, I believe it was Birmingham, Alabama, and they took a car up to northeastern part of Alabama. So when they got there, of course, it was all roped off as a crime scene, and the sheriff met them there, of course, and he told them that, again, I'm going to tell you that what you're going to see, you will probably not believe, and that I want you just to be aware of it, because I don't want you to be super shocked what's going on. So anyways, I'm not really too sure why. What they saw when they got there was a tree stand, a very large tree stand. He even commented it was bigger than any tree stand he had ever seen anywhere, because he was a hunter. John was a hunter. And so they walked over, him and his friend, the Navajo, walked over to the tree. And for some reason, the Navajo wanted to go first. I'm not sure why. John even made a comment, Jesus, normally I would go first and he would probably follow. But this time, for some reason, I don't know if he's just so damn curious that he wanted to get up there first and see whatever this was. So anyways, he goes up first. And it was just kind of it wasn't a great ladder situation to get up to this tree stand. So you had to be careful and go slow. So anyways, he went up there, and all of a sudden he got up there on top of the tree stand and was able to kind of look across. And the other thing I didn't mention to you, John had mentioned, is they kind of got close to this tree. There was some horrific smells, some awful smells that were stomach wrenching smells. He didn't really know what they were from. Anyways, so the Navajo gets up there. He's looking at whatever it is up there. And all of a sudden you hear him, and he's vomiting over the side of the tree stand. And he's really, really, really upset, or just beside himself, I guess. So John gets up there and he looks, and he cannot believe his eyes. He started feeling a little sick, although he didn't throw up. He walks over to what he was looking at, and then he ends up describing this to me, which I would describe to you. What it looked like to him was a pile of shredded flesh, about 4 feet wide by about 4 feet high, kind of in a cone shape, I think he said. And it was horrific. It looked like, I guess the way he kind of described, the first thing that was in his mind was something like Wolverine, the character in the movie, with his big naily hands or claws, I guess we'll talk about, just went ahead and shredded these. There was 3 guys in the tree stand, okay, which all had guns, had high-powered rifles. This is what the sheriff told them. In fact, the deal was the rifles ended up on the ground. Never a shot was fired. Apparently, they just got up to this tree stand, and something happened. Something approached them, and I don't know why they threw their guns down, unless this creature or whatever it was told them to throw them down. I don't know. But anyways, they were these 3 people were just shredded into one huge pile. And John finally said, he said, I believe in my heart that this was a super predator that, people have talked about, that is typically in the woods in the United States and probably around the world. He didn't really know. He said he's heard other stories of them. He's heard stories where they kind of look like the predator in some ways in the movie Predator, kind of a wavy thing that you can't really get a good line on. And so anyways, that was his conclusion. And he kind of left the scene. He talked to the sheriff for a while. He had told him that he'd hang around and they try to find some other information about anything. There really was no other witnesses. And so eventually, within 2 days, I guess he left the scene, and he stayed in contact with the sheriff, but he never did hear anything else about what had happened there outside of what they saw, the results of this, whatever it was, a creature of some sort. It was not humans that did this. This couldn't even be done by humans, he said, that he knows of. So anyway, so that was the super predator, which I call Creature X. Sometime I may be able to talk to Rainbow, do a video on what Sasquatch told her about this super creature, this super predator. Apparently it is out there and they know about it and they've had some encounters with it, but I'll let her tell that story sometime in the future. Anyways, if anybody else has anything to add, subtract, or questions, please contact us at dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. Please subscribe to our site, our channel. And of course, we also have a website, a Truth Seeker Forum, which has been around for a very long time and has thousands of articles and interviews that I have done in the past. So anyways, with all that said, one more thing I want to say is one of the things I've learned about Creature X from other stories that I've heard is it probably is really important not to go alone in the forest. I know a lot of people like to do that, to be one with nature, but I think there is something to be said by going in groups of at least 2 people I think you're a lot safer, not only from like a creature X, which is probably would be a very rare encounter, but there's other things out there that you don't really want to encounter by yourself. So, anyways, and I think if you follow David Paulides, he would tell you the same thing. Anyways, with all that said, thank you very much, and happy trails until we meet again. Thank you. Bye-bye.